All right, guys. Injuries from the game. Trent Williams ended up having a high ankle sprain. He'll be out some time. Aziz had an MCL sprain. It's very similar to what Elijah did. So most likely won't require surgery, but probably at the same time we'll see. But I know we gave Elijah, our guess was around 8 weeks. Ross Dwelly has ribs. He'll be day-to-day with those. Go ahead, guys.
Well, any prognosis for Trent Williams, just as far as how many weeks he might miss?
No, I mean, the swelling's pretty bad. So, I mean, usually high ankles are usually, just for everyone, they say 4 to 6, but sometimes it can be sooner and sometimes it could be longer. So that's why I didn't give an exact date. It's too early to tell.
What was Deebo Samuel's issue yesterday?
Just took some shots. Was hurting in some areas. Had some bruises. But
after the game, Jimmy said that he's not quite in game shape yet, and implied that he had a tired arm. Is that an issue in your mind, and how do you address that while at the same time trying to get him and the offense back into a rhythm?
No, I mean, I think that's the same for any player that didn't do preseason. It takes guys some time to get into game shape. I mean, you don't really simulate exactly games on a practice field. That happens in the games, and I think that'll come sooner than later. If he said that, I'm sure he was tired as the game went, but you just got to get him practicing more and get him playing in games more. The game shape will come.
Kyle, it's often said that, coaches will say that after you watch the film, it's, never as good as you think it is and never as bad as you think it is. Is the same hold true for last night, or did it look on film as bad as it looked in person?
No, it felt and looked exactly what I thought. I thought the first half was similar to what I thought. I thought we missed some ops I thought we should have done a lot more points than what our production showed. But the second half was exactly how it felt out there. Wasn't one position, wasn't one thing in particular. Everyone had their part. Could not convert a third down, which was the biggest reason for our troubles. But a lot of that, most of our day was third, and I felt like our average was around 3rd and 9. We had a couple 3rd and 4s, but both of those we got false starts on. We got a sack on 2nd and 10. I think on our 5th series in the second half. Which led to a 3rd and 18. So that was more about 2nd down than 3rd down. But, no, it was across the board.
Are you considering IR for Trent Williams?
Not right now. We'll wait and see as this week goes. But we're hoping we don't have to. You only get so many of those. And we want to make sure we save those. Same thing we're kind of doing with Ty Davis-Price. But we'll see how it goes. If it ends up being we're leaning towards longer, then we might have to make that decision.
Do you have any status updates for Jimmy Ward or Jason Verrett? And do you guys plan on getting Daniel Brunskill back anytime soon?
Yeah, hopeful to get Brunskill back this week in practice. Jimmy Ward and who else?
Jason Verrett.
Yeah, I think it's after this week after this week they can come back and start practicing, and it's looking like they'll have a chance to come back and start practicing. We don't have to play them that week when they do, and we got 3 weeks to make that decision, but hopefully they'll be able to practice next week.
With Brunskill potentially back this week, would he be an option for replacing Trent, and how do you kind of evaluate the other options you have there with Moore and McKivitz right now?
No, I'd expect McKivitz to go. That's probably what would happen last week from the beginning if he didn't get dinged up in practice and miss all those reps. But most likely it'll be that, and hopefully we can get Dan back to possibly help us out inside.
Kyle, last night you took responsibility for not putting the guys in the best place for them. Looking at the film now, I know obviously any unsuccessful play you'd like to recall, but is there any general principle that you would have gone forward with more than others?
No, are you asking which plays I felt that way about?
Were there general concepts that you thought you should do more as opposed to others?
No, not really. It's just more about hitting it at the right time. And I thought the safety when we were backed up, we tried to take a big shot on that, and And if it wasn't there, which it wasn't, we had some spots to ditch it, but we put him in a tough spot there where we didn't pick it up inside the way that we planned on, and it put him in a very tough situation with the nose not being blocked on that play to where we couldn't really ditch it. I thought on the interception was a tough one because nobody was open on that play. They ended up blitzing our back, and his two options weren't open. And when he doesn't have a good play like that, we just can't make it worse. But those were two tough situations that I didn't think they were very good play calls.
Well, I guess if you look at Debo's rushing yards this season, it's still pretty good, 6.5 yards a carry. But do you feel like teams are starting to kind of catch on to what you're trying to do there and have taken measures to make sure that he doesn't beat them on the ground when he lines up in the backfield like that?
Yeah, we're not surprising anybody, that's for sure. Everyone knows how committed all 11 guys got to be when Debo's back there because they know what he can do. So that always makes it harder when you can't surprise the league because everyone knows how good he is. But I do think there's a few opportunities. I mean, he's still got his numbers to a degree. Didn't get them last night, but I still believe if on a number of those plays, if we can execute the blocks just a little bit better, I think Debo's got a good chance to get a big one. And that's why you get those opportunities because he's the best guy on our team that has the chance to get the big one. And we just got to get him back there when we have a better look for him.
Why did Lenore get the nod at nickel over Womack?
We liked how he's been looking. You know, we're going to always try to put the best people out there that we think gives us the best chance to win. And just from the last few weeks and watching him practice and everything, we felt that was Demo. And I was real happy with how he played too. I thought I thought he was one of the better guys out there last night.
Al, have you been involved in a game before where there were 17 punts?
I don't know. It doesn't feel like it, but that was different. I don't know those stats, but definitely seemed like a lot more than we're used to.
And do you feel like the special teams unit as a whole had improved greatly?
Yeah, I thought they did a real good job. You know, especially pinning them back there. We did a real good job always keeping them inside the 20. I thought one of the biggest plays of the game was after the safety, being able to punt that ball and them start on the 19. I mean, that's very rare after a safety. Usually they get real field goal, usually real good field position. So that was real impressive. But I was real happy with their special teams.
Kyle, how do you evaluate George Kittle's performance? Is he still working his way back into game shape like Jimmy?
Yeah, definitely. You can't underestimate how much when guys miss time, how hard it is to go out and play a game like that. So yeah, George, he did some good things, but he's not there yet because hasn't been playing much. It was nice to get him back in practice more last week. It was nice to get him through the game healthy, and if we can keep that trend, I know he'll keep getting back to himself.
Yesterday you said the offense wasn't good enough in the second half, yourself included. After we watched the game, where do you think you personally could have done better as a play caller? And what really stuck out to you the day after? You look at it as anytime a player makes a mistake, you look at it as yourself too. I mean, your position coach, the coordinator, me as the play caller, what we put them through in practice. I thought we made way too many mistakes across the board, and that always, to me, starts with coaching. And it goes to the players. They're the ones who have to execute it, but we're the ones who prepare them for that. So when you look at each play as a whole and you just go through mainly our second half, the first series with the fumbled snap, the second series with the safety, the third series, on that 2nd and 10, just had a real bad sack that got us to 3rd and 18. On the fourth series, we had that 2nd and 10 after we had Ray's good punt return. And we're on the 40, and we have a 2nd and 10 where we throw it to Juwan down the sidelines, got a real big chance for a big play to get in the red zone. We ended up not coming down clean with it, had a bust on protection, got Jimmy hit way too hard on it. And on the 5th series, just messing up a little bit in the protection to where we missed Debo, who's got K1 beat on that in-breaking route, which I think Debo's going to go to the house on it. and we're just not quite right in our protections, and we're a little off on the throw, and that's what gave them another opportunity for that big drive where they finally got the touchdown. So you look at it through the whole course of a game. When there's too much stuff going on like that, we got to make sure our guys are more consistent and give them better chances in that way, and that always starts with me.
Take two more.
Kyle, does that change?
The fumble snap last night. What was your view of that? What broke down there? And also, you've had a couple of those over the last couple of weeks. Is there something to be said for just Jimmy and Jake Brendel not getting that work together in the offseason?
No, we saw everyone went on one, and Jake snapped it on two. So he was just a little late with the snap. I don't know if that was the cadence out there. I haven't got to talk to them yet, but just watching on tape, everybody went. The other 4 linemen and the quarterback, and Jake was just late to snap it, so that's why they missed it.
Take one more.
And without Eric Armstead out there, how did the interior of the defensive line look to you?
I mean, we obviously played good enough to win last night on defense. I mean, you hold a team to, we gave up 9 points on defense. Regardless of what happens, we should get that done and win. But not having Eric in there is a big deal. I thought we gave up a few too many clean runs, which allowed them to stick with a couple drives, and especially there at the end, it was tough that, like we're used to, you can contain Russ all day, but we didn't there in the fourth quarter, and he kept 2 drives going by us, let him get up the middle, which was disappointing. But as a whole, I mean, without a doubt, they played good enough for us to win, but it would be real nice to get Eric back this week. Did you have one, Matt?
Not Matt Barrow.
Yeah.
No.
Well, okay. The other Matt has one. No, when you talk about the problems that you guys experienced in the second half, do you craft your practice week differently because of it, without addressing the stuff? And I realize it wasn't just one area; it's a lot of stuff across the board. But do you consciously try to address as much of that stuff during the week of practice as possible?
Of course. And I mean, that's what our weeks are consisted of every single day. And that's why you don't just sit there and try to have a theme like, hey, we went 0 for 10 on third down, let's practice third downs this week. Or, oh, we didn't throw it deep, let's practice just throwing deep this week. Or we didn't connect deep, let's practice doing it. You don't look at it that way. It's how do you get 11 guys to do their job right? And that's why when you look at over the course of the game, there's never just one absolute answer. There's a breakdown on all of those third downs. There's a breakdown on a couple of those second downs, which led to bad third downs. And that's why you hear us say a lot, do right longer. And doing right longer is about executing in every aspect of the game. So you can't just focus exactly on one thing. You got to focus on everything. And that's what we do each week. First down, second down, third down. Cadence, motions, getting lined up, executing the plays, beating man coverage. All those types of things go into it. That's why there's so much more to it than what the eye might see. But we got to get a lot of stuff cleaned up. It didn't come down to just one thing. We didn't play good enough across the board with all 11 guys. That's why I can't just sit here and say it was the run game, it was the pass game, it was only third down. Everybody had their part, and that's why we got to come in here. We got to take our medicine, and players are getting today off because we got an extra day. But when we come in here tomorrow, we're going to get right back to work and attack this hard and not soft in any way and be hard on each other. And can't wait to get to Monday night so we can get this feeling out of our taste.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Yo, subscribe to Platform 246 for more clips. We're on the way to 400. Y'all be safe.